Roadman, driving in the road van. Well, not quite. Still in the driveway. Haven't started the car up yet. It's a little chilly out, but I'm so wound up. I'm heated from the inside out after that 13-10 loss by the Buckeyes to Michigan. That's an embarrassing loss for Ohio State. That's a fireable loss for Ryan Day and his staff. No way you should lose to that Michigan team who's barely 500 and all the guys that they graduated from last year's national championship team. No way you lose to that team when A, you're at home, B, you're 3 touchdown favorites, C, all the seniors that supposedly came back to win that game, and then D, all the money you spent in NIL dollars to bring in the transfer portal guys and stack this team on offense, defense, and special teams, the best roster money can buy, and you lose 13-10 at home to Michigan? Your second loss of the season? It's a fireable loss for Ryan Day and Chip Kelly. And what the hell was Chip Kelly calling today? What kind of a game plan was that? Where was the advantage for Ohio State? Speed kills on the outside. Their secondary's banged up. Spread it out. Throw the football. Short control passing game. If they're not going to give you the over-the-top stuff, which they didn't, then you know what? You adjust and you take what they give you, the underneath stuff. Don't try and muscle up and play bully ball when you can't because your offensive line can't run block. They're terrible, right? What can you do? You move a very mobile quarterback in and out of the pocket. You throw on the run, short control passing game. And when did it work? It worked right before the end of the first half. Buckeyes go right down the field. They score, tie it up 10-10. I'm thinking, okay, they figured it out. They're going to come out in that second half. They're going to do more of the same. Well, they didn't, and they continue to try and show we can play bully ball with Michigan. No, you can't. You played right into their hands, Ryan Day and Chip Kelly. Sharon Moore's saying thank you. We came in as underdogs. We understood that. The only way we had a chance is if you tried to run the ball against our strength, which is the defensive front, right? If you turned it over or made mistakes on special teams. Well, Will Howard, 2 interceptions. Jaden Fielding, 2 missed field goals. And the Buckeyes lose 13-10. Horrible game today by Ryan Day, Chip Kelly, and Will Howard. And don't get me started on Will Howard. JT and I on the Kenny and JT show Monday through Friday, by the way, 3 to 7 on WHBC and WHBC.com. I tried to tell him and others, I'm not a believer in Will Howard. I don't care what his numbers say. I don't care, about his 5 years of experience and all that. I'm not a believer in Will Howard. And guess what? Oregon game, 2 costly mistakes. He fumbled a snap, and he slides down too late to kick the field goal to try and win the game, right? Penn State, huge game on the road. Pick 6, down 10-0. Today, 2 more interceptions. He was at Kansas State for a reason. It's the best you can do at Ohio State is get a transfer from Kansas State. I understood Justin Fields coming from Georgia, right? But the best you can do is Will Howard from Kansas State? Come on, man. It's Ohio State. You got to do better than that. Frustrating loss today. Frustrating loss. The defense actually played fairly well. Didn't get any pressure on the quarterback when they needed to, but they played fairly well. Much better than at Oregon. But let's be honest, Michigan's offense is nowhere near what it was the last 3 years and nothing like what Oregon has, right? So they should have held this team to about 10 or 13 points. This one's on the offense and the special teams. This one's on Ryan Day, Chip Kelly, and Will Howard. Will Howard, 5th-year guy, leader, and he's going to come here and run this offense. No. 2 interceptions today. Jaden Fielding, 2 missed field goals. Even Caleb Downs let that 1 punt bounce and roll 68 yards inside the 5-yard line. You can't do that. A shanked 31-yard punt. Those little things all add up to what? A recipe for disaster if you're the favorite, but a recipe for success if you're the underdog. And Sharon Moore and the Wolverines get the job done. 13-10. Do I fire Ryan Day? Yes, with this one exception. If the Buckeyes are still lucky enough to get into the college football playoff because they've expanded it to 12 teams, okay? They're lucky enough to get in. Here's what I do today. If I'm Ross Bjork, here's what I do today. I call Ryan Day into my office. Ryan, think you understand the standards here at Ohio State? Hate to do this to you, but the only way you keep your job is if you get an invite to the college football playoffs and you win the whole damn thing. If you don't, you're gone. So you're basically coaching for your job. Okay, thanks, Ryan. There's the door. and you let him walk out. As soon as he walks out, you pick up the phone, you call Mike Vrabel. Hey, Mike, we know, you're not currently coaching really anywhere. You're just a consultant for the Browns. If the Ohio State job becomes available, do you have an interest in it? All right, thanks. We'll get back to you on that. Next phone call I make if I'm Ross Bjork. Hey, Herb, you do a great job on that Fox pregame show and everything, but we know once a coach, always a coach. If this job were to become available again, would you have an interest in coming back to Ohio State? Okay, Herb, thanks. Click. That's the order of the way I would go about my business if I'm Ross Bjork. Call Ryan Day in, tell him if you don't win the national championship, you're out 1-4 against Michigan. No national championship, no Big Ten championship. That's not acceptable. You're gone unless you win the title. If he does lose, then you start talking to Vrabel and Urban Meyer and whoever else, because this is unacceptable at the Ohio State. Is this an overreaction? No, it's not. It's not an overreaction. Ryan Day has failed to get the job done. He just has. He's John Cooper-esque. Cooper, 2-10-1. Ryan Day, 1-4. Bottom line, you can't beat Michigan. You don't keep this job for very long, and there's no way you can afford to keep Ryan Day for 13 years to see if he can figure this out like they did with Newt Cooper. 1-4, 5, that's enough time. He's been here 6 years. They didn't play the 1 year because of COVID. He's 1-4 and lost 4 straight. Bar's been set very high because of Jim Tressel and Urban Meyer. And if you don't meet that level, out the door you go. And find somebody else who will do it with the most expensive roster in college football. That many seniors coming back, a home game against your arch rival where you're 3 touchdown favorites. Unacceptable at the Ohio State. And then at the end of the game there, when Michigan wins the game, which they shouldn't have, but they did, give them credit. Hate to say it, but that's 4 years in a row they've been able to do that. Classless move? Yes. But they wanted to take the flag and plant it at the 50-yard line like Baker Mayfield did. And then all hell breaks loose. And where was that intensity by Ohio State of, wanting to fight off Michigan like they did with that flag during the game? It looks embarrassing even more so to fight after the game because they wanted to plant the flag at your 50-yard line. Guess what? If they don't win the game, they don't get a chance to plant that flag. Where was that intensity? Where was that energy? Where was that fight during the game? That's what I want to know. It looks doubly as bad that you lost the game and you're fighting because they wanted to plant a flag at the 50-yard line. Come on, man. You knew that was going to happen. Is it classless? Yes. But, hey, bragging rights. Sorry. Greatest rivalry in all of sports. And that's where you show your most fight after the game at the 50-yard line? It's embarrassing. An all-around embarrassing day by the Ohio State football program, and it's led by Ryan Day. Sorry, it starts at the top with him, Chip Kelly right below him, Will Howard after that. 3 most important positions, head coach, offensive coordinator, and your quarterback, and they all 3 failed miserably today. And if they don't win the national championship, should be fired if they're not fired before that.